Why do 93% of the world's leading multinational companies prefer certified professionals? Because they tend to be committed to higher standards and ethics and maintain an informed intercultural competency. Whether you're seeking to build a career or to upgrade your HR professional career, you need to get trained and certified at the HR Certification Center today. Our experience in training and certifying HR professionals is unparalleled. We're trusted to offer a comprehensive portfolio of advanced professional credentials for the HR professionals worldwide, and today, more than 500,000 HR professionals worldwide in 125 plus countries proudly maintain our credentials as a mark of higher professional distinction. HR Certification Center. Call or WhatsApp today on 0244 122 855.
All right, so it's an honor to have you here this evening, depending on where you're joining us from. It could be an afternoon at your end, it's a good afternoon. If it's a morning at your end, it's a good morning. We are delighted to have you join us on today's info session, which we themed the pathway to professional HR certification. We are delighted from our end to have you. My name is Pelpi Tehoda, and I'm the Executive Director for the HR Certification Center. I will be doing this session with you today for the next 56 minutes. We are sure to be done in exactly an hour. And so you are welcome to today's information session, which is absolutely free. This information session is leading to enrollment for our cohort number 43. In this session, we will be discussing what exactly it is when we talk about human resources, the function of human resources. We would also be looking at what the pathways are for you to charter as a certified HR, and also what prospects lies ahead of you, what career progressions lies ahead of you when you become a certified HR professional or when you become a chartered HR professional. Whether you are the entry level of your HR career or the mid level, or you have advanced to the director level, which is a strategic level, there is a certification for you here at the HR certification center. We just want to establish this. We wish we could have everybody on mute to ask their questions or to give us their comment or make the inquiries. But we are, however, gladdened that you join and we would have all your questions answered. Should you have any questions, any clarifications you want to seek, any suggestions, any issue concerning the requirement, do feel free to WhatsApp it to 0244 855. For the next couple of minutes, which is about 55 minutes, we want you to send it as WhatsApp. However, after the session, you can always reach out to us via WhatsApp or via call on the same number. And this is our admissions hotline. Anytime you reach out to us, either via WhatsApp or via SMS or via call, our teams are on standby to respond to your enquiries. But for this information session, we would like you to send your questions as WhatsApp to 0244 855. Once again, you are welcome to our information session, which we themed the pathway to international HR certification. Now, let's look at the function of HR. When we talk about the HR function, the function of human resources, what are we talking about? What do we mean when we speak about the HR function? There are four core areas of the HR function, and the emphasis is on the core because, I mean, when we talk about HR, we could have different dimensions to the practice of HR or to how HR is done in every business. But these four core functions globally has been accepted. And for every international HR certification, you will be tested on all of these areas. And the first area we're talking about is workforce planning. Workforce planning, we want to look at it holistically, shifting the discussion away from just recruitment and selection. But we are talking about the function where you plan for your workforce ahead of the operation of your business. So, for example, we take a company as ABC Company Limited. ABC Company Limited has set a goal for themselves for the year 2025, which we want to call the business calendar year 2025. And so, if you are in the function of human resources, you want to take the goal, analyze the goal, and see this is where my business is going. As an HR person, your analysis will be focused on, do we have the right talent? Do we have the required talent, as in the number of people to deliver on this goal? Do we have the right set of skills? And if we do not have the right people, what do we do? What sort of training do they require? If we do not have the required number, say we need about 150 workforce for the year 2025 to be able to deliver on our business goal, do we have that 150? If we do not have the 150, Are we going to go through the recruitment process? Do we want to buy the talent? In Ghana, we call it poaching. So we want to go into the market and poach from somewhere. Do we have the luxury of time to build the talent? That is training and developing the person to fit into the role, or we want to go and buy ready made talent from the market. So, as an HR person, you begin to look at this holistically. That is planning your workforce. Even for the year 2025, you may want to break it into seasons. So, for some businesses, you have the peak season and then you have the off peak season. If you are in the peak season, how many people do you require? If you do not have it, is it necessary for you to recruit full-time employees, or this is the time you want to look at doing contract? So somebody comes to do the project for 3 months, and then the person will go away. So you don't have bulk of talent that you are not using all year round. The HR function requires that you plan your workforce for the entire business year or even beyond. And what you do within this business year is also encapsulated in the function of workforce planning. Then we move on to employee engagement. Employee engagement is encapsulated in the area of training and development, what we now call learning and development. And so you have the required number of people, everybody seems to be working. Are they engaged for what they've been employed to do? Not that you have people coming into the business and they are looking for the next opportunity to jump off. You need to ensure that for HR function to be 100% done, your employees must be engaged. What do you do? Now we have different types of generations in our workplaces. What you do for generation A may not be the same thing you do for generation B. And so you have to ensure that you do your activities such that everybody would love and accept whatever you're giving them so that they are engaged. And for us to know, people are engaged differently, or there are different engagement drivers for different people in our workplaces. For somebody, it is a raise in salary, and the person will give you his or her all. For another person, is the opportunity to jump onto that project. For another person, is about caring for me and whatever concerns me, my education, my career progression, my family or my extracurricular activities and all of that. People are engaged differently. And for HR to be done properly, you have to ensure that you understand your workforce so that you can give them what their drivers or their motivation drivers are, and to help them be fully engaged in the workplace. Now we move on to learning and development. In other research materials or in other HR fields, they will call it training and development. So now when we talk about training, it is totally different from development. They are not the same thing. For areas of training, you are training the person, or you are building the necessary skills for the person to be able to perform the function today or the function now. So if, let's say, the person is with you for a 10-year period, between the first 3 years, you are training the person to perform the role that has been assigned to them. But possibly you have a succession plan in place that Kofi Mensah, who is currently at maybe the entry level of his career, should be developed to take up this role in the future. And so whilst you're training Kofi Mensah, you're also developing him towards that role. So you need to have a succession plan in place. You need to know the future of the role that the person is performing today, so you can develop the person for that role in the future. Whereas it is important to train the person, it is equally important to develop the person for the sustainability of your operations, or for the sustainability of the business. And then the last critical thing I will talk about is the strategic alignment of the HR function. All right. Whatever we do as HR professionals, we do not do only for the HR department. We do it to drive to where the business is going. And so, if the focus of our business for the next 5 years is to build businesses not only in Ghana but the sub-African region, the HR function must be aligned to where the business is going. So, in your recruitment or in your workforce management operations, or in your learning and development operations, or in your employee engagement, in whatever you do from the HR department, it must be aligned to where the business is going. The business cannot be going towards direction B and your HR policies or your HR strategies are going towards direction C. It would never align. And so you would be working in futility. It is important for every HR professional to understand that we exist first and foremost for the business. We must drive impact towards where the business is going. And then in our driving of impact, we must also ensure that the people are aligned to where the business is going. That is the only way the HR and the implementators of the HR function can become relevant and strategic. So these four areas are very critical. There may be other areas, but we want to narrow them to these four core areas of the HR function where we pay particular attention to do exactly what HR is required to do. Now, away from knowing why it is important and why it is relevant for HRs to act in a strategic manner, at the HR Certification Center, we say that no matter the level of your career, your HR career, there is a certification for you. So, as approved providers of HRCI's programs in Ghana, we have been mandated to run three areas of the certification. Of course, every now and then we have the liberty to add on, but currently we are running three different certifications, and these certifications are stand-alone certifications. All right. So we have the Associate Professional in Human Resources, which we call the APHRI. We also have the PHRI, which is a Professional in Human Resources. Then we have the Senior Professional in Human Resources, which is the SPHRI. Now, these certifications, like I mentioned, are stand-alone certifications, and they are globally recognized qualification from the Human Resource Certification Institute, headquartered in Virginia, USA. So what we do is to provide tuition for those who want to charter as HR professionals. I'm sure you've heard about a chartered accountant, you've heard about a chartered marketer, you've heard about a chartered administrator and the likes. So for those of us in the HR field, we also go through this to become chartered or certified HR professionals. Now, it is even relevant more than before because the regulators of the practice in Ghana, which is the CIHRM, requires that for you to practice HR at a certain level, specifically the directorship level, which is the strategic level, you must have a professional certification. And so it's become more critical now for those of us practicing HR at the advanced level to become chartered or certified HR professionals. And for us as a center, which is the HR Certification Center, we are an approved provider from the Human Resource Certification Institute. And so every year we go through the process of renewing our approved provider status. The approved provider status means that you've been licensed to run HRCI's courses in Ghana. And like I mentioned, we run three different certifications currently, which is the Associate Professional in Human Resources, the Professional in Human Resources, and the Senior Professional in Human Resources. In my subsequent slides, I will let you know the requirement for each one of them. All right. So just like I mentioned, the relevance of the HR function, why must individuals, or why must professionals who have gone through first degree, some have gone through second degree, because I'm sure for those of us on the call, we have either first degree, we have masters, some even have gone ahead to do their PhD. But why is it important for us to pursue professional certifications? All right. The first one is the fact that professional certifications are a demonstration of mastery. Now, when we talk about mastery, we are talking about going through the body of knowledge. Every professional certification has a body of knowledge, what we would like to call the syllabus, or what we would like to call the manual, the guide that gives us a mandate to go through learning and sit the professional exam. That's what we call the body of knowledge. And once you've gone through that body of knowledge, you gain a demonstration of mastery and a commitment to professional ethics. So, professional ethics and standards are simply the code of conduct by which every professional must abide by. So, if you belong to the medical field, you have your code of conduct. If you are in the field of finance or accounting, you have your code of conduct. And so is it for the HR field. So, once you go through this body of knowledge, you have that code of conduct that is guiding you in what you do in the field of HR. Now, secondly, every professional certification gives you technical expertise to respond to key issues. Now, we are not saying that if you go through first degree, you do not have that technical expertise. If you go through second degree, you do not have the technical expertise. But at the professional level, we teach not only focusing on theory, but we teach focusing on practicals. We teach you, giving you the necessary skills and tools to arm you to become a professional in your field. And so when we say you are a professional, it's not just because you have gone through learning, you've gone through the technicalities of how to do it. So the technicalities of how to practice HR is what you would have been going through in the 6 months of learning. And the technical issues we are talking about is you understanding the core of the HR function. We are also talking about you understanding how labor laws, and other relevant laws or other employment laws guide or regulate the function in Ghana and elsewhere. I keep saying that you cannot building technical expertise. These are the things that we arm you with so that when you're practicing your HR, you're practicing with that boldness and confidence that you understand what HR truly is. Now, the third value you gain from professional certification is the fact that you build for yourself cross-cultural competence. The competence that is not only focusing on your locality, which is Ghana, but you're also focusing on other places or other jurisdictions equity and inclusion. Do you understand what it means to have expatriates in your organization and how you can manage them? How are they compensated? How are they taken care of when they come into your jurisdiction? How do you onboard them? How do you help them to adjust to the culture of your environment? So all of this is what we call the cross-cultural competence for international assignment. And so for those of us who have businesses in Ghana and we are dealing with stakeholders from all over the world, you get to appreciate, you get to understand how you can manage all of these assignments. And lastly, professional certification would also give you the requirements for HR practice at higher levels in Ghana. Like I mentioned, you cannot practice HR currently as a director when you do not have professional certification. That is the requirement from the regulators in Ghana, and I'm sure that it is so with elsewhere. Now, for all of these values, employers tend to prefer certified candidates over non-certified candidate. All right. We are not saying that if you have masters, if you have first degree, you will not get an employment. But if you have that plus professional certification, it gives you that added advantage. And I'm sure you have seen in all vacancy or job post that a professional certification is an added advantage, and we want you to take advantage of our international certifications to put yourself steps ahead of your colleagues when it comes to your career. All right. Now let's look at the three different certifications, what you would go through and what the requirements are. The first one we want to talk about is the Associate Professional in Human Resources, which is the APHRI. So for the APHRI to qualify to enroll, you don't need any degree, you don't need any work experience. Your degree, if you are just finishing first degree, you have finished HND, or you are now studying for your degree, and you want to put yourself ahead of your colleagues, you want to enroll for the Associate Professional in Human Resources. And this is for those at the entry level. So no work experience or 1 year experience in HR or other fields, you qualify to enroll for the Associate Professional in Human Resources. If you enroll in this one, you go through 6 different modules. Your module number 1 is HR operations, where we look at the operationalizing HR, the administrative work done in HR. We would also look at module number 2, which is recruitment and selection. There we talk about how people get into our space when there is a vacant position in our office. How do we get the job role out there? How do we source for CVs? How do we do the screening? How do we go through interview process? And how do we finally select the required candidate to get onto the role? Then in module number 3, we are looking at compensation and benefit. Compensation and benefit is talking about mandated benefits, non-mandated benefits, salaries that are due. And if we are talking about mandated benefits, how do we encapsulate it either in our policies, or how do we get our people to know the benefits that are due them? And when we are talking about non-mandated benefits, the ones that are not captured in the labor law, but out of goodwill, your organization would do it just so people are engaged for work in the organization. Then module number 4, we are looking at human resource development and retention. In there, we are looking at issues of training. We are looking at issues of employee development. We are looking at performance management. We are looking at retention of our employees. Then module number 5 will look at employee relations, health and safety. Here we talk about the health of our employees, both within the workspace and outside of the workspace. For safety, how safe are the people? Is our environment safe and conducive enough? We want to ensure that people are in good health and they stay safe for the role that has been placed. And now we have all sort of safety issues on the internet. We call it digital safety. How do we ensure that our business is safe digitally and all of that? Then module number 6 will look at the labor laws of Ghana and the ILO regulation. I spoke about the fact that you cannot be an effective HR if you do not have an appreciable understanding of the labor laws of Ghana. And at the HR Certification Center, we take our time to walk you through the Labor Act cover to cover. We take our time to walk you through the supporting legislations, that's supporting employment in Ghana, LI 1822, LI 1833. We take you through the other acts that regulate employment. I spoke about the ADR Act, the Workmen's Compensation Act. I spoke about the Pensions Act, and I spoke about the Factories and Shops Act. Everything that regulates employment as an act, we take our time to walk you through it. And so the 6 modules will be taken in 4 months. That is, if you're doing the APHRI, your course will run for 4 months. And within the 4 months, you are sure to go through the entire 6 module. Then we move on to the professional in human resources, which is the PHRI. You go through 6 modules just like APHRI, but for the professional student, your course will run for 6 months. The associate professional runs for 4 months, but the professional in human resources is for 6 months. So 6 modules for 6 months. And then your modules are business management. And business management is very key for those practicing at the mid-level of their careers. And so for this particular one, you need a first degree plus 2 years of work experience. The degree doesn't necessarily have to be in HR. It can be in any field. Your work experience can be in any field. Once you present us with a first degree and 2 years of work experience, you qualify to go through the professional in human resources. And you're going through business management, which is very critical. In this module, we help you to understand the business environment. We take you through how to create a vision and mission for the organization, or how to understand the vision and mission of your organization, and how you can use it in your daily operations as an HR person. We also take you through how the business comes together to develop a strategy, and how the business stays in business. How do we get the customer to buy from us? How do we understand the customer? How do we make money? How do we stay relevant? We take you through all of these things. As an HR person, like I mentioned, you exist first and foremost for the business. And so you must understand your business. You must know why your business is in existence. You must know who your customers are. You must understand issues of competition, and you must understand other issues external to your organization, something that is likely to take you out of business. How do you, as an HR person, position yourself, your department, and the people that you lead to stay relevant, stay on top of issues when it comes to business management? That is done in module number 1. Then in module number 2, we look at workforce planning and talent acquisition. I spoke about that in my earlier submission. Then module number 3 is on employee development and engagement. Here we look at performance issues, we look at training issues, we look at development issues, and we look at how we can get our people to stay engaged and be productive. Then in module number 4, we are looking at total rewards. Total rewards is issues of compensation and benefit. Now it's been termed total rewards because we want to look at compensation and benefit in its totality. So when we are talking about rewards, rewards must be holistic for it to give us the impact that we are looking forward to have. Then module number 5 is employee relations and risk management. Here we look at issues of health, issues of safety, we look at issues of business risk, we look at issues of people risk and how we can manage them. What are the likely risks that we are to encounter as a business, and how do we mitigate this risk so that it will not take us out of business. And we're also looking at issues of employee relations. And in this particular module, we also look at issues of labor unions, how people can form unions and how they are regulated. We're also talking about environments that are not unionized, but they want certain things done for them. The law says that you cannot stop employees from joining unions. And so when they come to you that they want to form unions, or they come to you to even present a certificate that they have formed a union, as an HR person, how do you manage these people? How do you manage the situation? And how do you work with the union so that your business can continue without any interruption? Then in module number 6, once again, we are looking at the labor laws of Ghana and the ILO regulations. Like I mentioned, this particular program, which is the Professional in Human Resources, is 6 modules and is done in 6 months. Then we move on to the senior professional. The senior professional is for those at the strategic level of their HR career, strategic and policy level. So for this category, we are looking at the HR managers, the HR directors, we are looking at the business managers. You must be at a certain level to be able to go through the senior professional class. And so for you to join, you need to present us with a master's degree plus 2 years work experience in HR, or you give us a first degree plus 4 years work experience in HR. Otherwise, you want to give us 4 years of experience of people management, where you are a supervisor of a department, you're responsible for the workflow of people under you, you manage, certain groupings, or you manage a certain department. We term that as people management. And so to qualify to enroll for this one, we need 4 years of that HR practice for you to go through the senior professional in human resources. So just like the professional in human resources, the SPHR class would also go through 6 modules in 6 months. Your module number 1 is in leadership and strategy. Very critical in our current dispensation because, gone were the days where HR was done, let me use the word anyhow, or my boss would say at the whims and caprices of the employer or the HR manager. Now it's no longer so. People want to be led and they want to be managed differently. You cannot force employees to do things that they don't understand. And so we take the senior professional class through how to lead the business, how to lead the HR function, how to lead people so they can deliver on product promises to the customer. We also take our time to take you through understanding of business strategy and how you can position yourself to craft a business strategy for your organization. Very peculiar for the senior professional class. And issues of leadership and strategy these days cannot be overemphasized. Every now and then, I'm sure you hear one, workshop, or one seminar, or one webinar in issues of leadership and strategy. Very critical for every manager to understand. You can't be an effective HR manager without leadership abilities. Your ability to influence people and get them to act willingly and get them to go according to your HR policies or your business policies is very, very critical, right? Then we move on to module number 2, which is workforce planning and talent acquisition. Module number 3 is employee development, where we talk about training, we talk about employee development, we talk about performance issues, and then we talk about retention. Module number 4, just like the professional class, would also go through total rewards. Then module number 5, same as the professional class, you go through employee relations and risk management. Then module number 6 is on labor laws of Ghana, just as every other certification. Now, let me make a bit of clarification on the senior professional modules. I'm sure you've seen some of the modules same as that of the professional level. So just as we had core maths in Form 1, core maths in Form 2, and core maths in Form 3, it is the same thing that is being replicated here. But the maths we studied in Form 1 is not the same maths we studied in Form 2. When you get to Form 2, it is taking a step further, a step higher. And when we got to Form 3, it got a bit difficult, a bit intense and a bit deep. So you possibly would have seen workforce planning and talent acquisition in PHR. When we get to the senior professional class, we take it deeper. For at this particular one, we are looking at workforce planning relating to policy development. We are looking at employee development in relation to strategic decisions. We are not only looking at it for operational decisions, but for strategic decisions. So we take it deeper and a step higher. So it may be the same name, but in content delivery, it is not the same thing. So for the senior class, you go through these 6 modules for 6 months. And after the 6 months, you are ready to sit your professional examination. All right. So if you're just joining us, welcome to the free information session on international HR certification, which we theme the part 2 professional HR certification. All we seek to do in this 1 hour of virtual session is to give you guidelines, is to give you direction, is to assist you understand the relevance of international HR certification, and also to guide you on how you can enroll for your professional certification with us at the HR Certification Center. I know you have questions. We are unable to take your questions by you unmuting yourself or by asking it directly, but we have given you a platform to send your questions to 0244 122 855. Whatever questions you have, send it to 0244 122 855. We will respond to them right here on the call. If you have further questions after the call, you can still WhatsApp us, and then we would be glad to assist you with the necessary answers. Right. So now let's look at the apart from the 6 modules you would go through right here at the HR Certification Center. We believe that we are not only training you to pass an international exam, as much as that is your reason for coming. We also believe that beyond passing and holding the credential, you should be able to practice wherever you find yourself. All right. So we organize 4 special workshops to augment your learning in the modules you have taken. So your 6 modules will be augmented by these 4 special workshops. Your first workshop is in the area of business finance for HR professionals. The second one is on issues of social security and pensions management. Then workshop number 3 is on ethics and integrity management. The fourth one is on HR analytics and metrics. Now, these are well taught workshops to help you in your practice. So, one of the things we've heard over the years is the fact that HR professionals don't appreciate the language of business. And what is that language of business? Finance. We are in business to make profit. We are in business to, deliver value for all our stakeholders, to give returns to our shareholders. And so we must understand how we make money, or how we generate revenue, how we spend it, and how the profit is declared and even shared for the shareholders. So in business finance, we take our HR professionals through understanding the language of business. Then issues of social security, we bring a professional from the social security, which is SNIT, to give us a deeper understanding of how social security is managed in Ghana. And of course, the focus is not just on Ghana, but globally, but we skewed it towards what is done in Ghana. And then issues of ethics and integrity. How do we get our people to be ethical? How do we get the business to be ethical? You know, if we say we are declaring tax, we need to declare the tax. So we are ethical in our dealings. We don't go for a pro forma invoice and we say, no, don't calculate the tax because, this and that and that. The business must be ethical. The people running the business must also be ethical. All right. So we do that in workshop number 3. And then HR analytics and metrics, we are looking at how we can use technology to run HR. How do we understand and analyze data and figures? How do we, at a click of a button, be able to, come up with the data that is well analyzed to help us make a decision, not just for the HR department, but also for the entire business. So we do that in HR analytics and metrics. So these 4 special workshops comes to augment your learning. Of course, you don't pay anything extra for these workshops. They are part of the fee that you've already paid. So you go through the 6 months of learning, and then you also enjoy the special workshops. All right. So now we want to introduce you to our College of Facilitators. So we have these individuals, seasoned HR managers, seasoned HR practitioners with not less than 15 years of experience. And we also have seasoned lawyers in there that will take you through the legal aspect of managing HR. Now, I'm sure that for our module number 6, you're wondering, we have a seasoned hand from the National Labor Commission. He's been with the commission for over 10 years and is well equipped to take us through the learning. We have Dr. Jeff Bassey, we have Yvonne. Yvonne is from MS Shipping. We have Stephen, formerly of National Labor Commission. We have a Bo with Gibbs. We have Nana Kwabena with GCB Bank. We have a Kia with Bost. We have Courage, a nature consultant. We have Nina, who is a lawyer. We have Christabel, a seasoned HR professional. And then we have Martha. It is interesting to know that all these people are senior certified HR professionals, and they have dedicated their time and knowledge to helping you understand or go through the body of knowledge and to help you sit and pass your professional exam. Now let's look at why it is important for you to choose the HR Certification Center. We've spoken about the value of international HR certification. Why must you choose HR Certification Center for your HR journey? The first reason is that we offer flexible learning options. So we have both the in-person and then the online option. And the beautiful thing about the center is that we don't pin you to an option. Every weekend, you choose which of the options you want to study. So this weekend, you may have a funeral and you cannot come to class on Saturday. Sunday, just look for the link, jump online, and then you continue. So whatever we do in person, we do the same thing online, so that you don't miss on the path that you have chosen. You can choose to stay in person all throughout. You can choose to stay online all throughout. You can also choose to alternate the learning option. Reason number 2 why you must choose us is because we offer flexible payment option, one that is suitable for your pocket. You don't have to break a bank. to study with the HR Certification Center. It is interesting to note that the HR Certification Center has graduated well over 4,500 individuals. Some of these people were sponsored by their companies to go through the program. Some organizations will sponsor about 5 of their people, some will sponsor about 3. Almost every cohort, we have company sponsored individuals studying with us. And so we are not only accepted by individuals, but we also well accepted by organizations for our contributions to the HR function. And so once you join us, you become a member of the strong alumni network. Over 4,500 persons have gone through the program. Now, another reason you should choose the HR Certification Center is because we offer practical knowledge-based workshops, like I mentioned, 4 different workshops just to augment your learning. And like I mentioned, we do this so we can arm you with the practical skills on the ground on how to manage, the HR functions. Of course, we take you through issues of pensions in the 6 modules, but during the workshop, we take it practice by practice. So for this particular benefit, this is how it's calculated. When you pay this amount of salary, this is how much is supposed to be deducted. And then we take you through the practicalities of how it is done and calculated. We must also say that we give you multiple mock sessions. We give you, practical questions just to help you in your preparation. And so once you go through the center, we give you the mock sessions, we give you tests, we give you quizzes just to prep you for the exam. And all of these we do for free. In other institutions, they will charge you for the extra, but at the HR Certification Center, we do not charge you for the extra. Now, if you are here and thinking of enrolling for the Associate Professional Program, all you need is 1,050 Ghana cedis per month. 1,050 Ghana cedis per month. For the professional candidate, you need 1,400 per month for 6 months. And for the senior professional, you need 1,600 per month for 6 months. That is all you need to commit to every month until you finish the program. And so once you make this payment, your tuition, your reading materials, your trial questions, your prep, your tutorials, your mock exam is entirely covered in the tuition. And so you don't need to pay anything extra. Now, this information session we are doing today is leading to our cohort number 43. Cohort number 43, what it means is that we have done 42 successful cohorts. And so our next session is starting June 14. That is our 43rd cohort, June 14th. And admissions is currently ongoing towards that particular cohort. All right. And so we want to just give you a peep into the people who are certified with us. Every year we published the list of certified candidates through the center. We've had, the year 2020, we've had the year 2021, 2022, 2023, then 2024. Then at the end of 2025, we are likely to publish that also. Once you go on our website, www.phrglobal.com, you would find the list of certified candidates through the center. Now, how do you enroll? Very simple steps for you to enroll for the Professional HR Certification Program. With just 200 Ghana cedis, that is your registration fee, you buy a registration voucher. In less than 2 minutes, you go through the registration process online. You don't walk to the physical space to buy the form. You go online, fill the form, and then you get to register for the program. So if you want to register, you just need to send a hi to 0244 122 855 0244 122 855, and then the admission officers will take you through the registration process. Very simple steps. Our registration is done via mobile money payment using all the networks. You simply have to dial *447 *2314#. So once you send a hi to the number, this particular steps will be shared with you for easy access. Just with 200 Ghana cedis, you buy a registration voucher, you go onto our registration portal, and then you register. We are open for questions. We have about 6 minutes to go. If you have questions, we are open to take them. Like I mentioned, send the question to our WhatsApp number 0244122855, and then we will gladly respond to all of them. Even after the call, we will still be active to respond to your enquiries. Like I mentioned, this is leading to enrollment for cohort number 43, which is starting 14th June. And registration is currently open and underway. Once we reach the target, we close admissions. Right. So Catherine is asking, is it only for HRs? No, Catherine, even though it is international HR certification, if you are a manager of a department, you run your own business, you still would want to go through this professional certification to gain the knowledge, to gain the mastery, to gain the technical expertise to be able to manage your people. And of course, we've had persons other than HRs go through the international HR certification. We've had finance people, we've had operations, we've had a lot of admin managers go through the program. And then we've had projects, we've had some marketers also go through the program. Once you desire to know about people management, you can go through the international HR certification. But of course, others also do it because they want to transition into HR. All right. Is the session only for Ghana region? So you mean, is it only in Ghana? No. So like I mentioned, we have two learning options. We have the physical sessions that run at our training center at East Legon. And then we also have the virtual session that is open to every other person, both within Ghana and outside Ghana. We've had persons from, I think, 9 other countries join us for our international HR programs, and they connect to us via our virtual platform. So if you're outside Ghana, you can also enroll for the program. Raphael is asking, is the 2 years of work experience is a 2 years work experience qualification criteria for the second type of certification supposed to be in HR? Okay, so that is the requirement for the professional level. The 2 years doesn't necessarily have to be in HR. If you have it in HR, you can still enroll. If you have it outside the HR function, you can still enroll. A degree, not necessarily in HR, 2 years of work experience, not necessarily in HR, you still qualify to enroll. So, okay, so someone is asking, after enrolling into a level, how do you get access to get certification. All right. So Zadok, what we do is training for you to sit the professional exam. So for you to get your certification, you need to sit the professional exam. So after going through the 6 months of tuition, you now prep yourself to register for the international exam, after which when you pass, you earn a credential. That is the certification, all right? So let me use this opportunity to talk about the international exam. So after the 6 months of tuition, you prep yourself, sit the international exam away from your tuition. So, in other cohorts, we've had persons who finished the tuition in 6 months, and then after 2 months of preparation for the exam, they register and then finally sit for the professional exam. So if you're taking the senior professional exam, the exam fee is $595. That's for the senior professional. If you're taking the professional exam, the exam fee is $495. Then the associate professional, the exam fee is $400. So when you are ready to sit the international exam, then you register, pay the exam fee, sit the international exam, and when you pass, you now earn the credential. So you see someone's name as Zadok Awimbot, SPHRI. What it means is that you're a certified senior professional. So that is the certification, the credential that you earn after sitting the exam, right? Okay, so can one go ahead with senior HR with a master's degree in administration in higher education? Once you have a master's degree and you have 2 years of HR experience, HR experience, I explained to mean that it shouldn't necessarily be in the HR department, but you have 2 years of people management experience. You qualify to go straight on with the senior HR. Right. So, Shelley, what you would do for us is that send us a direct WhatsApp. Let's get to understand your qualification and your work experience. Then we are better placed to give you an advice whether you're going for the senior professional or you're going for the professional in human resources. So kindly do reach out to our admissions office, 0244122855. Cynthia is asking, do I need to complete my degree before signing up for any of the programs? If you're still studying for your degree, you can enroll for the associate professional. That is the entry level, right? All right, okay, so I guess that is all time will allow us. It's 5:02. Shelley, thank you very much. I see that comment. It's 5:02. We want to say a thank you for joining us today on the path to professional HR certification. HR is a very important function of every business, and we keep saying that people are the greatest asset. If you believe that people are the greatest asset, then the managers of those great assets must be well positioned to manage the people. And so you cannot just be in HR and do it anyhow, but we plead with you that give the HR function the facelift it deserves by getting yourself certified. Become a certified HR professional today, and let's practice HR the right way. We will come again, we'll come your way again sometime next month. But until then, we want you to follow our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, HR Certification Center. We are also on TikTok. We are also on YouTube. And once you join us, you get to enjoy our free programs, free educative programs. You also get to connect with us. If you have questions, you have inquiries, do not hesitate to reach out to us on 0244 122 855. Thank you. My name is Pelpi Tehoda, and I'm the Executive Director for the Center. It's an honor having this session with you.
Why do 93% of the world's leading multinational companies prefer certified professionals? Because they tend to be committed to higher standards and ethics and maintain an informed intercultural competency. Whether you're seeking to build a career or to upgrade your HR professional career, you need to get trained and certified at the HR Certification Center today. Our experience in training and certifying HR professionals is unparalleled. We're trusted to offer a comprehensive portfolio of advanced professional credentials for the HR professionals worldwide, and today, more than 500,000 HR professionals worldwide in 125 plus countries proudly maintain our credentials as a mark of higher professional distinction. HR Certification Center. Call or WhatsApp today on 0244 122 855.
HR Certification HR Certification Center commits to a higher standard.